older software developers are disappearing faster than ever. According to experts, 7 out of 10 software developers are under 35 years old.
Employers are looking to hire younger workers as social media managers.
61% of tech workers over the age of 45 state that their age affects their employability in the sector.
More than half, 56%, of workers experience an involuntary employer-related job separation after age 50.
Likewise, the time it takes for developers over 40 to find a job is 3 months longer than for their younger counterparts.
Well, the job market is getting tougher, and now older workers are staying unemployed even longer.
In the U.S. in particular, the 45 to 54 age group represents 21% of developers, but this proportion is declining. So is this the end of old-school software engineers? For years, software engineering was considered one of the most promising professions, with high demand and competitive salaries. However, multiple signs point to a less encouraging reality for those over 35. Veteran software engineers are facing growing obstacles to staying active in the technical field. Various global surveys agree that the majority of the active software developer population is made up of young people. According to figures from Crucia Company in 2024, 39.5% of developers were between 25 and 34 years old, while 25.5% were in the 18 to 24 age group. In contrast, only 18.4% were between 35 and 44, and those over 45 represented less than 6% of the total. The annual Stack Overflow survey reported similar data. 70% of professional developers were under 35, and only 5% were over 50.
A lot of companies don't want to hire somebody who's 50 plus and has a salary expectation that's above what they're willing to pay, so they can easily say it's because of salary or wage.
This trend suggests a sharp decline in the presence of developers as they age. Part of this situation may be attributed to the sector's structural youth, as many professionals have not yet reached the age of 40. However, there are also real barriers that affect the employability of senior engineers. Employment difficulties after the age of 35 are reflected in various studies. The Harvey Nash Tech Survey found that 61% of tech workers over the age of 45 believed that their age limited their job opportunities. A study by PayScale revealed that tech professionals over 40 were 11% more likely than their younger colleagues to have been job hunting for over 3 months. Additionally, 41% of them had indeed been unemployed for more than 3 months. These data suggest that, beyond experience level, age acts as an indirect form of discrimination in hiring processes, particularly in companies focused on rapid innovation. The perception of age among industry leaders also influences staffing decisions.
60% of workers aged 45 to 74 had either seen or experienced age discrimination in the workplace.
Craig Barrett, former CEO of Intel, repeatedly stated that an engineer's shelf life in fields like software and hardware does not exceed a few years. Although his comment refers to the speed at which technologies change, it also implies an expectation of constant human capital renewal. Mark Zuckerberg stated in a Y Combinator talk that young people are just smarter, a remark that sparked controversy but revealed a dominant mindset in Silicon Valley. Youth is perceived as synonymous with flexibility, creativity, and adaptability. These ideas, although not always openly expressed, have had a tangible effect on hiring dynamics. Many startups and tech companies prioritize the hiring of young profiles with recently acquired skills, often less expensive and more willing to accept long working hours or high-pressure environments. As a result, developers with more than a decade of experience tend to be pushed toward non-technical roles, management positions, or even out of the industry altogether.
For many older Americans who've lost their jobs, prospects are especially dim, their savings ever more eaten away.
The low presence of engineers over 40 can be explained by several factors. On one hand, the modern tech industry is relatively young. The major boom in software development occurred in the 1990s and 2000s, meaning many professionals are still within the age range considered young. On the other hand, constant technological change demands ongoing updates. Those who do not keep up with new tools, programming languages, or agile methodologies can quickly become obsolete in the eyes of employers. Furthermore, many companies promote an organizational culture that favors youth, from informal workspaces to team dynamics that revolve around social media or products targeted at young audiences. This is why older workers face difficulties finding employment.
Nearly 2 million Americans 55 and older are still out of work. Economics correspondent Paul Salmon looks at the continuing struggles of the long-term jobless in their 50s.
This can make older workers feel displaced or discouraged from remaining in the technical career path. Looking at market data, a progressive exclusion of older workers in software development becomes evident. The 35 to 44 age group represents between 14% and 18% of the workforce, while the 45-plus group falls below 6%. In the United States, according to figures from the Bureau of Labor Statistics, the 45 to 54 age group made up 21% of developers in 2011, but this proportion has declined significantly over the past decade. In addition, between 2018 and 2024, the number of employed developers in the U.S. grew by less than 5%, while openings for junior profiles increased by 18%. To this is added the fact that the average salary in tech grew only 24% during the same period, suggesting that companies are containing costs through the hiring of young profiles and the continuous rotation of talent.
Almost all workers who lose a job at older ages end up making much less on the new job than they did on the old job. We found that only 10% of people earned as much on the new job as on the old job, and on average, they tended to earn only about half as much.
All this contributes to a reality in which the technical career in software development appears to have a limited duration for many professionals. After the age of 35, growth opportunities as an individual contributor begin to diminish, and by 40, many have already transitioned to other functions. Despite efforts to highlight the value of experience, organizational structures, the pressure to innovate, and salary expectations make it difficult for veteran engineers to remain in active technical development. This even affects the notion of a secure retirement.
Traditional retirement, as for so many once secure older Americans, is out of the question.
The idea that veteran software engineers are disappearing from the field is not an unfounded prejudice. Various demographic indicators, detailed employability statistics, and repeated statements from industry leaders all point to a clear and consistent trend. Software development has become a youth-dominated field where younger professionals make up the vast majority of the workforce. As a result, those over the age of 35 face increasingly significant obstacles to staying active in technical roles, often encountering age-related barriers that limit their opportunities for growth and retention in the industry. Although there is no official or legal exit age from the tech sector, the passage of time appears to gradually reduce the real opportunities for professionals to remain in it as active programmers. This is especially true as expectations around adaptability, speed, and cutting-edge skills continue to rise. For many seasoned engineers, this means that career longevity in technical roles is becoming increasingly difficult to sustain.